for any reason, ever share your private keys, passphrases, passwords, or click suspicious links. Everyone all the time is trying to steal your stuff, so go slow and be careful. There's no point making all this money just to give it to a thief.
Are you tired of all the uneducated noise you're getting from the droves of YOLO meme coin peddling douchebag gurus out there trying to use you as their exit liquidity? Would you rather learn a competent university level set of skills that will guide you in managing and investing for the rest of your life? Join us 3 days a week at Digital Investor. Develop your knowledge of game theory, cognitive bias, macroeconomics, monetary theory, investment theory, psychology of the crowds, and more. For more info on Digital Investor and how it can help you, reach out at nickblacknext.com.
Woohoo! Okay, let's see. I'll bang through these. Bam, bam. You can even start. You can start any housekeeping we have, Brandon. While I burn through these hellos.
That's good. I am so sick today, dude. I think one of my kids got me sick, so I tried working out here this morning, dude. I just it's one of those things where you're all jittery and stuff, and you're sweating, chills. Anyway, regardless.
Well, I had street tacos at a party. How about that?
Well, that'll get you sick too. Ish. Let me add this actually, because it is October, so this is the introduction to October. We all know what October is. If you look at the chart here, this is the Bitcoin monthly return tables. October for the past, 13 years now.
Only two times. Only twice in 11 years, right? Or 13 years has it been negative?
1, 2, 3, 4 times maybe is what it shows on the chart.
Well, for the whole market, for the entire market.
Okay. Oh yeah, probably, because had some narrow slips here on Bitcoin. And this is just red because it's 2 days into the month, but generally October is green. Also, September ended up being the first up September in over, this is the 8th year. So 7 years in a row, we've had a red September for Bitcoin. This is the 8th year, and it was finally green for the first time. Breaks a 7-year trend, which is kind of cool. So we're looking at October. October, generally a green month, and not just a small green month. Look at these percentages. The very first October was the very first month that Bitcoin was ever a positive month. And it was up 221% that very first October, which is 3 months into the birth of Bitcoin. But then you got 54%, 32%, 48%, 27%, 40%, 5%. So generally speaking, October is a good month for us. So we're just going to say, hey, let's go October.
What do we call September? Do we call it because September, everything sucks. Do we call it September?
Yeah, September. Sure, September it is. It's a down timber.
Okay.
I wanted to give a little bit of a tease too. When we go behind the wall, we're going to be talking about options for licenses and tokens. What do things look like today? What can we do with our tokens? What can we do with our licenses? Okay.
And I've got one more thing we're going to do behind the wall. We're going to do a thought experiment with GPT-4 on what would the hypercycle price be if it moved similar to Cardano.
Dude, dope. This is a dope day.
Dope day.
So
real quick,
in front of the wall, what are we doing?
Let me do some housekeeping. One, for private clients, DPCs, you know who you are. Cogito distributions tomorrow. So there'll be more worthless Cogito coins in your wallet. Toys, if you will. Coins.
Yes.
Hypercycle interest payments, October 23rd. Unless, of course, something weird happens on Ethereum, but it will be sometime that day. I'll just wait for Ethereum prices to not be terrible. And then True AGI, we should get some maybe pricing news this week as they've been talking to bigger investors. So we'll see. So that's that housekeeping. We're at 414, so 41.4% of our total of 1,000 digital investors. Private clients were at 51, maybe 52 by the end of the day. And okay, so there's that. All right, so we knocked that out. We've got those deets. Should we do some AI news and then go behind the wall?
Yeah, because I want to get into this. A lot of people are asking questions. What do I do with my hypercycle licenses?
There's a lot of questions, bro. All right, let's do some AI. We love the AI. We love it. Okay. Apple is doing a mass AI hiring. Tim Cook announced intentions to hire more UK-based staff specializing in artificial intelligence, diverging from the recent redundancy trend in the tech sector. Apple's recruitment in AI contrasts with widespread layoffs, but most of those layoffs are not because AI is eating jobs yet. The layoffs are because dummies that don't understand effing macroeconomics overhired in 2021 and 2022, and now they're getting their asses kicked, but that's a different story. Anyway, so there's a widespread layoff trend, like huge. And, companies like Amazon, Meta, and Google are axing people. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a job? No. Okay, great. Tim Cook regards layoffs as a last resort. That's what when you hear people talking about labor hoarding, you bring on a bunch of employees at the wrong time. You spend all that money training them because it can cost many tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars to train up staff members, especially executives. Then when the market goes the other way and you realize, we really got that wrong, you can't just dump all those people because you have so much embedded cost. So sunk cost, right? So they hold as many employees as they can. They let fringe part-timers go. They cut people from full-time to part-time. That's labor hoarding. But at a certain point, you got to go. Off you go. So anyway, they regard layoffs, as most companies do, as a last resort, emphasizing Apple's focus on investing in AI talent. If you're in the AI space, you have job security. Several tech giants have poured billions into AI advancement, with Amazon investing up to $4 billion in AI firm Anthropic, second only to Microsoft's $10 billion in OpenAI. So anyway, the UK government and industry leaders express optimism about the country's potential to become an AI superpower. Well, everybody with a computer in their garage can become an AI superpower. That's the beauty of AI. So why should this be important to people? Well, Apple has been pretty quiet about AI and its product announcements this year. Matter of fact, some would say they completely essed the bed when they launched their new phone, which, from what I'm hearing, nobody cares about. Like, this is one of the flop skis of the century. Their phone is like, the new thing was like, hey, Brandon, we use a different kind of titanium. What? Yep. It's recycled titanium. Okay. What does the phone do? New titanium.
See those ads everywhere.
It's so dumb.
Big deal. But that's Apple.
Well, no. They did a bunch of new stuff on the watch too. You want to know what they did to the watch? That's awesome. Recycled titanium. I'm like,
have you seen those videos where the guys he takes an iPhone 14 and photoshops the USB-C port into it, and it's like iPhone 15. He's so funny.
Like, dude, they S the bed bad, and they spoke nothing. This is the problem, is they didn't really say anything about AI. Everybody was waiting for some big upgrade to Siri and all that. Nope. Still a piece of garbage. Anyway, so that's unfortunate that they have been so far behind the ball. So apparently they get it. They realize that they floundered. Their Reality Pro headset is not due to launch anytime soon. My guess is a lot of people on board to the Oculus 3, and it doesn't bode well when you can buy the completely decked out Oculus 3 with like 500 something gigs, versus for like $500 or $600, $5,000 for a comparable Apple device. I mean, I'll get one because I'm a stooge, but that's the only reason. Anyway, so Apple's been pretty quiet about AI. They've been kind of embarrassed, but they realize this apparently, and they're doing a massive commitment to expanding their AI workforce. So hopefully the next time they talk about products and they say there's one more thing, hopefully there's an actual one more thing, and it's not just the one more thing is a palpable letdown. All right. The study is highlighting that AI productivity may have some pitfalls. A new study from Harvard Business School found consultants made more mistakes using AI for unfamiliar tasks despite their productivity gains, revealing the double-edged sword of workplace AI. Yeah, I mean, if you're a dummy, then AI is, it'll, I don't know if it'll, maybe it amplifies your dumminess. But anyway, consultants in the study using GPT-4 for creative tasks. Remember, this is, you have to look at this very specifically on what it measured. It didn't measure things that they understand. It measured creative tasks, improved output, but scored worse in analyzing a company's problems, which is, anyway, researchers say AI created a jagged frontier, significant gains in some areas, hazards in others. Participants failed to spot GPT-4's mistakes because they relied on GPT-4 and on repetitive outputs, but guidance, aka prompt engineering, did help maximize their benefits. So what is the summary of all this? What should you take away? Productivity hacks.
Don't buy Apple products.
Okay, no,
That's the
this
only
is
thing I
not
got.
Apple.
Yes, it is.
This has
I
nothing to
know,
do with
but
Apple.
that's
This ain't
still the
titanium.
takeaway.
This ain't
Still is.
repurposed titanium. While productivity hacks that AI enables in the workplace are clear, blindly relying on the tool is a recipe for disaster. Humans need to be critical and analyze the work alongside their AI assistants, just as they would a human counterpart. This to me is a little bit like one person found one time where AI gave him a hallucination. They're like, see, AI is stupid. You're like, oh God, yes, I know. Go back in your broom closet with your stapler. Anyway, so those are what I thought were the basic things. The kind of smaller news, but still important. Llama 2 is outperforming other AI models in long queries. So building on their earlier Llama 2 model, Llama 2 long improved performance by handling longer sequences of information and outperforming GPT 3.5 Turbo, not 4. But the reason why all these measure against each other, they're measuring against similar piles of data. So think like a bag of data in a lookup engine, right? And that's maybe GPT 3.5. And then a bag of similar data, similar size data. Remember, you have tokens and parameters. And then you have Llama 2 long. So they're trying to compare, because the idea is maybe if they could streamline the training data so that it didn't take, it wasn't so expensive to train these things, and it didn't take so long. I mean, you could see a future where like by running hypercycle and some of these other things, I'm not saying that's the only way, but you could see a future where you could run a full language model on your phone, and it would have repurposed titanium. So you're going green, bro. They're going big into what they call ROPE, which is rotary positional embedding and reinforcement learning. So Llama 2 can process queries of up to 200,000 characters, marking a pretty big step towards versatile AI models while prompting ethical considerations. For those of you that are using GPT-4, you now have access, or they're rolling it out kind of in different localities, but you have access to DALL-E 3. So you can go, I don't like to play with dollies, but this one you do like to play with because it's the art creator that's super badass. DALL-E 3 is dope. It's not like it's kind of behind Midjourney a little bit, but like Midjourney 5. But everything's getting so good that it won't be behind for long. Anyway, Microsoft researchers introduced what they call AutoGen. It's an artificial intelligence framework for simplifying the orchestration, optimization, and automation of large language model workflows. And this facilitates automated conversations between multiple agents via chat interfaces, meaning AI and AI talking to each other. Did you see, Brandon, the dude that got like 2 phones with GPT-4 on it, the one where you can talk to it, and he had them start talking to each other?
Nah, bounce it back and forth? No,
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What a great video.
I know. God.
I'm going to go watch
it. Some people get rich off just the most inane, insipid shit. But anyway, not me.
Yep.
Anyway, the process involves defining a set of agents, each with specialized capabilities and roles, and specifying how the agents will interact when receiving messages from one another. So that's kind of cool. Same thing, right? There's a lot of research, man, we could talk about this stuff for a long time. Long story short, for anybody that didn't see the interview with Lex Friedman and Zuckerberg conducted, did you see they mapped their faces like photorealistic, and they had an interview in the metaverse?
No.
It's
That's
badass. Cool. It's really cool. And even like Lex was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like, and Lex doesn't get excited about much. But anyway, so that was kind of cool. And then finally, impacts of AI on labor markets. AI assistants have boosted productivity, but paradoxically, obviously are risking human de-skilling, because you're like, well, if the AI does it, why do I need to do it? So a recent report by job placement firm Indeed, titled AI at Work, provides tangible evidence of AI's influence on the workforce, analyzing over 55 million job postings and 2,600 job skills. The report reveals that nearly 20% of jobs are exposed to AI impact. Yeah, no shit. Where AI can perform 80% or more of the required tasks. That's 1/5 of the human workforce. Bye-bye. Another 45% of jobs are moderately exposed. Moderately. With AI capable of handling 50% to 80% of the required. So let me ask you, do you think, Brandon, if they say, hey, I have a robot now that does 50 to 80% of your job, would you call that moderate exposure to job risk?
Moderately take half. So if you only made half of what you make now, would you call that a moderate pay reduction?
Yeah, well, Brandon, we're just going to take your pay down by 80%. It's a moderate reduction.
80%. It's just a moderate reduction.
No big. Research also demonstrated that AI's ability to perform various work tasks is increasing, raising questions about its potential to handle complex decision-making tasks in the future. Anyway, Sam Altman says he intends to replace normal people with AI. Yeah, no shit. OpenAI. In a recent profile, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, his use of the term median human to describe the potential of artificial general intelligence has stirred controversy. I mean, would you expect anything different? This is the guy that is like at the helm of OpenAI. Of course they're replacing humans. That's how they get paid, man. Anyway, Altman envisions AGI matching the intelligence of median human coworkers, raising concerns of potential human workforce displacement. Anybody who think, God, you have to be a damn fool. How many people do we have in the chat? Can we do a poll?
209. Yeah, let's see what we got.
Okay, listen, let's do a poll. Before we go behind the wall, we got to do a poll. All right, everybody's here. Everybody's here. First of all, put a like on the video, you heathens. Second, okay, how are we going to do the poll? We should say, if there's a 50 to 80% chance of your job going away, you have job security or don't have job security. So to make it simple, hired or fired. You tell me what you think. When you look forward 12, 18 months, do you think it's going to be more hired or more fired? I mean, they'll call it something else. They'll call it erosion. They'll call it technical innovation. They'll talk tech creative destruction. Retired.
That's funny.
No difference. Yes, it is a difference, Kathy. It is a difference. And I'll tell you why. Why do you think? Does anybody know what I'm about? Well, I don't know if anybody could know what I'm about to say, but why would it matter? Some of you pose the idea, okay, retired doesn't matter, but let me lead you down the path. Let's go macro for a second. If a bunch of people get downsized or fired, what would the government do to continue the economy forward? What would they do? They create money units. They create cash. This would be actual stimulus effects, kind of like the wonkiness we saw in early COVID. The checks, the stay-at-home checks. Yeah, more COVID checks, UBI. And that does affect you, because if you're retired and they print money, what happens when we print money and all else is the same? What happens to the money you have sitting in your bank account? Is it worth more or is it worth less? Think about it. And this is real, actual debasement effects. So it means a lot. Value goes down. That's it. You get debased like a mofo. You lose. And this is the thing that I'm worried about. People are like, I was at a party and this guy's like, oh man, you did good. But he kind of can read between the lines. So he knows that we've, done pretty good. And he was like, why do you even work? I'm like, are you kidding? You have 1 or 2 years of debasement. Everybody's back to square one. You cannot stop. There is no such thing as retirement. And I would say this, any of you that are here that think you're retired, bull smoke. You're not. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, because your new job is managing your currency. And yes, Social Security is broke. They have so much in impossible to fund liabilities you can't even imagine. I think a total Social Security bailout would be over $50 trillion. Think about that for a second. So if they monetize all this debt, I mean, that's a whole other thing. We're not going to go into it, but you have potentially 150 trillion to monetize all the debt that's owed right now. And that doesn't count what's coming as people get de-jobbed, de-employed, excised to the sidelines through the AI creative destruction. So monopoly money, yeah, unfortunately. So I would urge everyone to think, whatever you have in your bank account, it's going to get eroded through debasement. And I'm not even talking about like what we have right now. This is not there's some amount of debasement, meaning printing more currency units. But you look out 36 months to 60 months, S is going to get real, my friends. So anyway, just be mindful of that. Okay, we're going to go behind the wall. We're going to talk markets. We're going to look at markets. We're going to go through some cool stuff. Brandon, what do we have behind the wall? We're going to do some fun stuff. We're going to talk about
we're going to be talking about what we're going to do with tokens, options.
Yep.
What we have for licenses, options.
Yep.
Next steps for hypercycle. Easy.
Delicious. Oh, and real quick, for anybody that has been reading, how dirty, Brandon, have you seen how dirty that Bankman-Fried's parents are?
Yeah, I've seen all that. You saw that he's going on like 60 Minutes yesterday too, doing like another interview or something.
These guys are dirty. They're dirtier than their son.
Yeah, they play
which is hard to beat. Which is hard to beat.
It is hard to beat, but birds of a feather, right?
Holy crap, man! There's a good chance his dad was basically the ringleader.
Oh yeah. Well, you see that too when you look at Sam and you see him do his interviews. He could have actually had no clue what was going on.
He played League of Legends because he couldn't do anything else.
He really might have been naive to the situation when his dad,
man. The guy is such a doofus. But yeah, anyway, the parents super scummy.
Puppet master.
Anyway, let us go to.
Let's go behind the wall. Let's answer some of these questions they have in the chat here. Let's do this.
Cool. We're gonna go behind the wall now. But I've got a little thing I'm gonna play.
I gotta go get a Kleenex.
You go get a Kleenex. That's disgusting. And thank you for telling me. Okay.
We're going behind the proverbial wall now to continue the broadcast privately for the digital investors and digital private clients. If you'd like to join us, simply go to nickblacknext.com and subscribe to one of our plans and immediately take advantage of our library of tools, tactics, and information. It's all designed to help you learn, grow, and manage your portfolio like a pro. Join us now